Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. First and foremost, forgive me. We are 3 episodes behind. So this is what we're doing. We're doing like mini recaps, and then we'll go straight to the current one. I've been around the world, No, I haven't. Like I said, I was in, UAE for about a week or so for a conference, and before that, preparing for the conference prevented me from trying to get ready for any of the videos in my work schedule, because in order to be off for that, I kind of worked a bit coming up to the time I had off. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to jump into it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please don't forget housekeeping rules first and foremost. Hit the like button coming in. You see my face, hit the like button. Glad to be here. Hit the like button. And let's start. So this is Ready to Love. We are talking about episode 10, and like I said, this is going to be a quick recap. It's called Bro Code Broken. We already know what's going on, so this pretty much I'm going to kind of hit at that, and then we're going to go. So first and foremost, I'm going to tell you what kind of stood out. So there's something ladies had spoken about, and I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was between Morgan and Jeffrey, and they talked about how they had 2 different guys on their roster, and each guy represented something different. That both guys were very different. It wasn't like 2 similar guys. They're both very different. And there was something, I think it was just one of them said something about, it's funny how one person for them was the person they want, and the other person was the person they need. Yeah. Talk about real life. This is why this is season 8, and I still do take the time out to watch and review it for myself and for y'all, because no matter how much we say this stuff is manufactured, it still finds a way to reflect real life. Because true to form, the truth is a lot of the time we are faced with what we want and what we need, and if we've done our work, when Inyala says I did my work, if you've done your work, you'll find the person who you need but also gives you what you want. I don't think you have to compromise, but some work has to be done. I honestly believe you attract who you are or where you are. So if you're not where you want to be, you're going to attract what you don't want, and then you're going to wonder how you keep attracting the same kind of person. So I think that's what that little thing brought for me anyway. So going in, I want to say there's a part, this was in the house. So Anthony NP meets up with Sue Ann, Advocate Sue. I don't know why it came to my mind because of Jeffrey. And he had mentioned that, I think the pool table, he talked about, I didn't really narrow down and get into it with you, and long and short, he's saying that he didn't really hammer it down and hit home and pursue her properly. I thought he did a good job when he did that little lunch thing they did when she was in that beautiful canary yellow outfit. But like I'm saying, based on my observations and based on the clips shown on OWN Network TV, I don't think he really into her like that. You know how when we say he's just not that into you? I'm not saying he hates her. I'm not even saying he doesn't find her attractive. But when there's choice, she probably is not his first choice. That's why he required some motivation to get into a pursuit of her. And even then, she said something about, I don't know what she was saying. Something about, she let him know in her words that she was good anyway because she was good with bra man. You know who bra man is, kid and play. So anyway, she tells him that she's good, and very quickly and very easily he concedes to defeat. I don't think he was defeated. I think he was given a back door out. Those little dog doors that you put in the back door so the dog can go outside? He was let out. Like he was relieved from any pressure of trying to choose between 3 women. So now it's come down to 2, because he had such a very official, non-emotive way of saying, oh, well, thank you for giving me the chance. Please, let me tell you something. I'm not a man, okay? But I think, if you're feeling a lady and the lady says, no, thanks, I don't think you're going to thank her for her time. You might have 2 approaches. Depending on your continence and your personality, one approach might be quiet. But like hands off, okay, cool. Another approach might even be trying to tease out, like, you sure about that? Because you get some guys who are really cocky, but like, you tell them how you feel and they're like, well, you sure about that? So, but his very polite way of, almost like he was a game show host, well, thank you for giving me your time. I like, man, this confirms, like, I don't think he was feeling her like that. But that's just my opinion, and clearly we're just going to talk about my opinion right here. But y'all can throw your opinion. Yeah, tell me what you like. If what your opinion is, because I feel like it was no love lost. He was like, cool, you good? Give me 5. As Nigeria say, we say chop knuckle. I don't think there was any love lost. It was a relief for him. So to the main beef of the episode, I'm just gonna, you saw it and I saw it, so I don't need to recap what you saw. But the meat and potatoes of the whole thing was that apparently Tony Tiger had said something to Lyndon about how, if Marcia was still around, he could have Morgan. I don't know if there's any way to bake this. I don't know. And I will say, from this episode forward, we are now seeing, or we will see, the softer side of Morgan. The peanut gallery have said things about Morgan, whether Morgan is this, Morgan is that. She's all these things they say. But I do believe I had said in my opinion that we are some of her experiences, that Morgan had definitely been hurt. She's a beautiful woman. She's got stuff going for her. She's a smart woman. But a lot of times, being smart and having all these things going for us doesn't necessarily dictate that we have such a healthy love life. And I feel like in the past, Morgan has not had a healthy love life. And so she has, tried to create a shield and tried to toughen up in order not to get hurt. Human nature. But there is that soft side to her. And I think we get to see this here. And I think we know that she really likes Tony. And we do know that Lyndon has been a backup for her. And from this episode also forth, Lyndon has grown on me. It's funny, Lyndon has grown on me. I just kind of looked at him as like, oh God. Like, not in a bad way, but just like, when you have this pesky little brother. But Lyndon has grown on me from this point, I have to say now. And as I talk about him and her, we'll kind of expatiate what I mean. But we're going to make it quite brief. So anyway, we know when he said that, Lyndon said that at table out of annoyance. He was irritated by Tony's constant, like Tony is very territorial. He's the ultimate alpha male, if we want to use those terms, where he's marked his territory, and as far as he's concerned, Morgan is his territory. So he is offended by the fact that Lyndon won't back off, even though this is a dating show. Bruh, like, my G, like, you're still my guy and everything, but did you forget what the format of the show is that you came on? Because this is not real life. Now, in real life, if you had a girl who you were talking to and another guy knew you were talking to that girl, then, maybe in real life, I could understand your little irritation about Lyndon not falling back. Because Lyndon no coward. Lyndon no punk. He like, it's not over till it's over. But in this format, being a game show and a fellow contestant, I don't know why you thought that Lyndon was going to drop off or drop out for you when the bell hasn't gone yet. And so that's where I draw the line. I think, Tony the Tiger being a guy's guy, like he forgot that he was on a game show. He forgot he signed up for a game show. So the question now is, why did Tony the Tiger really sign up for a game show? Because it's not really putting him in a flattering light. Cause like he can be smooth and everything, but very quickly the tiger comes out. The animal in him comes out. And so of course, Lyndon says this and everyone's quiet at the table. And of course Morgan's hurt. Because there's no doubt she has feelings for Tony. And I think there's no doubt that Tony has feelings for her. But there's something they say that, well, I say as a Nigerian, to when I see, people who work with wild animals, like, you can't, can you tame a wild animal? Maybe you can, but you're going to have some marks and some scars to show for it. And I believe that in this process that Morgan is going through with Tony, if she persists with it, she's going to have bite marks from her trying to tame a wild animal. And this is just all analogies here. Something that Cynthia had told her that I want us to just quickly touch on. She had said something to her to the effect of, pay attention to the way someone treats you when they're angry. Because it tells you a lot about the person. And it tells you, because a relationship is up and down, it's not going to be perfect, but it tells you at that time when things are tough, you'll be able to see how you're going to be treated then. And Morgan said that when he's angry, he's not kind to me. That touched my soul, because kindness to me is not a given. It's almost sometimes with people, it's, you know, it's a gift. When someone treats you with kindness, it's a gift. If you're saying that the person who matters to you most frequently, because he clearly has a little bit of a temper, so frequently she feels that he treats her unkind, has a discussion with her to apologize for his part in playing that and knowing what the guy said and not telling her. And then of course Tony comes to explain something about he was angry. His explanation for it, what was his response? Something about, you were entertaining guy in front of me. Like I said, bruh, forget like he on a game show and thinks this is real life and is feeling, you know, insulted. I still haven't bought my red flags, but if I had red flags right now, if I could throw up the emojis, there'll be like red flags just fluttering all over my face right now. And I could very easily say at this point, if I was her, knowing that I wasn't really feeling Lyndon like that, and the person I was feeling was most likely going to bring me future pain, I would cop out right now and save myself further agony. But I say this now because I'm not in it, but the truth is, it's easier said than done. She's already invested into him, and so I can't judge her and say, why didn't she just say this is red flag heaven, let me get out of here. I can't judge her. I can understand her, and I can empathize with her, and I can sympathize with her, and hope that she finds the strength to figure out. I don't know where this is going, but the new information we've gotten tells me that I just want to tell her, sis, run. Or I want to, because the truth is, when you tell someone to run, they need to want to run from their heart. She's not there yet. And the truth is, when you're not there yet, there's some lessons you need to learn. That's what I ultimately believe, that there's always a lesson in all these experiences, particularly the ones that bring us pain. There's a lesson for her there. And she's kind of, you know, expressing her hurt and disappointment. But Tony, in all of that, could not put his ego down to be vulnerable with her. Now, I know there's a camera rolling, but this is the beginning of the relationship. This is like beginning. Like you're meant to just be like, you know, floating on air. And if in the beginning he can't be vulnerable with her and get soft with her when he can see she's in pain, when is he going to get soft with her? Is he going to get soft with her? Like how many scratch marks or bite marks will she have in order to get that softness she requires? Because it's like, we all can be all big and bad, but we all need some softness. I believe we all need vulnerability in order to communicate. We need to open ourselves up to the other person, and the other person needs to open themselves up to us so we can see each other clearly. We need to know we're not in it alone. And she looked like she's in it alone right now. And that's a little heartbreaking for those of us watching. To conclude this episode, there's something, and I think we've probably said this before, that the very thing you might love about someone is the very thing you will despise about them when you're on the other end. When you get down into the valleys, when you get into those valley moments, that very thing that you thought was amazing about them is the very thing you're going to look at them with disgust. I'm not a therapist, but I feel like we are drawn to people, particularly if this is like, you know, the different types of relationships. I'm not going to go into like, oh, my little, you know, karmic here, but with relationships, serious relationships, there's some healing we find in each other. Like, you're drawn to someone who has something that's good, that can heal you. And I don't know why we do that. I'm still working on it to get it, you know, to put it together. But there are things in our partners that will trigger us, which is meant to bring about healing. So that's why the very thing that you like about them is the very thing that's going to trigger you, that's going to require you to either work on it and heal, or throw your hands up and walk away. And this kind of opened up a whole different door for us to have another look into the relationship that lies between Tony and Morgan. Because up until now, it's looked all cute and sweet and blah, blah, blah. But like, there are real feelings there. And there are real red flags there. And I think I think many people can, look at this and it resonates for them in past experiences or maybe even current experiences. And so y'all tell me, like, realistically, have you been in this kind of situation where, I don't want to say the red flags are obvious, because when you're going through it, it's not that obvious. It's there, but it doesn't seem obvious until you look back. And so if you can tell me in the comments, you were going through it, right? Did you go through it all the way and realize the red flags? Or did you see the red flags and put your hands up and say, hey, I'm done? But anyway, this is episode 10. Really a quick nutshell. Gonna talk to you. We're gonna wrap it up and get to give another slip of episode 11 coming up next. So anyway, Lola, over and out.